TMCnet at NextCom 2008.
Good afternoon. Welcome again. We're here day 2 of NextCom 2008 in Las Vegas. I'm here joined by Aculab's Director of Marketing, Chris Gravett. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Why don't we get started? Can you tell me a little bit about what's been happening over at Aculab?
Okay, yeah, certainly. Well, it's now 2 years since Prosody X was first introduced. And we've been seeing a steady take-up of both existing developer customers and a lot of new developers coming to us. And what we're seeing is some really high volumes being generated by 3 or 4 major sectors. Surprisingly in some ways, the fax sector is really big. Not been a strength for Aculab previously, but I think perhaps changes in some of the suppliers out there have meant that there's opportunities. So we've seen a lot of growth there. Big growth in audio conferencing. We're expecting that to be followed with video conferencing in the future. But Prosody X has really found a home in the real big conference platform market. Also, we've seen a lot of traction with military and government communications. So we've got quite a legacy with Prosody products in certain defence communications, rapid deployment communication solutions. But again, since Prosody X came out, we've seen real growth in that area. And in Europe, in particular, we're seeing a lot of growth in what we call in the blue light sector, the emergency service communication systems, fire, police and ambulance. We're just completing a Tetra integration for our Prosody range of products, which is vital for that sector, and it means that Prosody X is really taking off in that area as well.
You're not the first to have mentioned fax, but what do you think is driving this, I guess, the renewed focus on faxing?
I think that one of the big areas is in the financial sector. Particularly here in the States, it seems that fax is alive and living well. Certain communications in the financial sector, it still seems that they have to be done by fax. Elections, a very big fax business generator, and it's not just in the States though, we're seeing it globally, and it's got a long life ahead of it, whereas you would have thought, you know, email had replaced fax for good at some point in time.
And what about conferencing? What's driving that? Is that sort of an initiative to be more green on the part of companies?
I think there's definitely that element, and with the current fuel crisis that we're seeing, then conferencing is going to grow even further. But it does seem, again, globally to be a booming sector. One of our customers has been the first to offer wideband conferencing on a grand scale, and so that's something that we're seeing replicated by other companies coming to us for that. Yeah, just seeing a hell of a lot of growth in that sector.
So you're seeing a lot of attention paid to the your Prosody line.
Yeah, we are. We've seen it. Those sectors in particular have really exercised the products over the last 2 years in developments. We're seeing very big deployments going beyond up to 19, 20 fully functioning compact PCI cards in single chassis, beyond what we would have expected to see deployed, because the Prosody X card is very high density, but people are pushing it to the limits, which is great. It's standing the test.
Fantastic. But you've also got another product line that I believe is doing quite well.
We've got our appliance range of products that we've just launched the first 2. A little bit of a deviation for Aculab to be selling what is in effect a box solution, but it's something that has really been demanded by some of our existing customer base. Developers don't want, in all cases, to be responsible for the complete development. Time to market's quick, and if there are single-purpose functions that can be covered by a plug-and-go appliance that's easy to use, then it's the kind of makeup that people are looking for. So we've got our IP gateway launched, and we've also got our gateway for Microsoft OCS, and we're hoping to see over the next year a bigger uptake with Microsoft Unified Communications, Unified Messaging, and our gateway will be playing a big part in that.
Fantastic. Now, actually, there's an awful lot of hype surrounding Unified Communications, especially following Microsoft's launch late last year. But uptake of UC services and applications doesn't seem to be quite on the same level.
No, and it's I think it's a slow transition process, and it's going to take 6 or 9 months more before even big enterprises start deploying. And it's not easy, and it's not, or it is quite expensive. So what we found ourselves is, as an organisation, we deployed OCS for our appliance team that's working with that product, first of all, as opposed to going throughout the whole company. And we see us rolling it out for our business, piecemeal, sort of a division, a department at a time, as it's required, and only where it's required. And what I'm finding is that seems to be the general approach of a lot of companies out there. So it's not going to be a big bang and switch over to it. It will be a sort of a piecemeal deployment. But we've invested in this initiative. We have worked with some of Microsoft's previous ventures into telephony and speech, which didn't go the way they planned. Hopefully this one will.
And it sounds like when that uptake does happen in the deployment phase, you'll be there ready to support it.
I mean, we were given the opportunity. We were invited by Microsoft to develop a hybrid gateway. It's not an opportunity that we would shy away from, because, as you say, if the uptake's there, then gateways will be needed, and so it could be a big growth in our business. But the appliance range in general, it came about before we were invited by Microsoft, and we are anticipating over the next couple of years a whole range of communication appliances. Video gateway probably being the next, and probably being one of the most lucrative, I think, in the long term. There's still a lot of talk. There's a lot of stuff at the sister event here about IPTV and video. So hopefully we'll have a gateway appliance which will service that market.
Fantastic. Glad to hear that both product lines are doing well.
Thank you.
We've been talking with Aculab's Chris Gravett. Chris, thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much.